Superman preview.
Yes.
We are, at the time of recording, 9 days away from Superman. A week Friday. We have made no small talking point about how much I believe this film has potential. Like, a lot of potential.
This is true.
I know you've been, not pessimistic, you've been more reserved, waiting to see more. I was adamant from the word go. You've been waiting to see things like a normal, rational person. How are you feeling a week out from the film?
I mean, as it's built, and with the trailers, and we've seen more, obviously, my hype has grown massively. Like, from that first main trailer, I was like, okay, this looks really fucking good. Like, obviously, there's still part of me that is cautious, because I'm like, this is our first proper look at the DCU. So far, our little teasers of the DCU with like Creature Commandos was great. Great fucking animated project. The trailers look great. The way James Gunn has been talking about this film sounds great, from being talking about like comic book accuracy and stuff. Visually, it looks like everything we hope it to be. It's like there's very little reason for me to doubt it at this point, other than if the story absolutely flops.
Yeah.
But I doubt that would happen. Like, everything is telling me it's going to be great. So I do think, I do genuinely believe it will be. I'm just like, what is this just like okay, DC is back. This was a great film. Or am I going to come out of this and be like, holy shit, DCU was back? Like, I think I'm either going to come out like, that was a good film. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed this Superman. Or I'm going to be like, oh, this is the best Superman we've had for a while. Like,
so your kind of scale you're assuming is good is at the bottom end of what you're expecting.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, this is redefined superheroes is at the top end of what you're expecting.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for a number of reasons. I think it's got all the right stuff going for it. It's got a vibe of a world that is lived in with superheroes.
Yep.
They're starting that off the bat quickly with people like Hawk Girl, Guy Gardner, and Mr. Terrific being partially in the film.
Mm-hmm.
It means the world's going to feel more lived in, and that idea of suspending the disbelief should be gone. Because you don't need to feel like you should be suspending the disbelief. It should just feel like, yeah, superheroes are here, that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of people who have had more access to the film than me have said it feels quite Silver Agey, which, for those who aren't aware, is kind of your 70s to late 80s kind of style of comics. Bit more sci-fi-y. You do have a fair bit of kind of not worrying about how realistic it is, in the sense of they don't go, oh, but if Superman's flying that fast, how are his arms not crushing the person he's catching? Type vibe. Which is, I think, good. That leans more towards the fantastical style we've been told to expect and that we kind of want. We kind of got this military realism from the MCU.
Yeah.
I would like a more fantastical vibe. I think it's going to have a lot of character and heart and soul. The big thing I want to know is what are the stakes? Are we dealing with this is Lex versus Superman and their egos are having a fight?
Yeah.
And it's over something stupid, which would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it this is Lex versus Superman and Lex is prepared to destroy the world to get a one-up on Superman, so he opens a portal to death and Superman has to work out how to shut that down. I'm sure that will still be good. I'm hoping it's closer towards the first option of, like we see in one of the trailer, Lex breaks into the Fortress of Solitude. Is the entire argument that Lex took a shit in his toilet. Like, these are like the ends of the spectrum,
Yeah.
and I want it to be more on that kind of petty side of Lex is doing something dastardly, but it's not the end of the world, and Superman is trying to stop that from happening.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think that makes more sense.
I could see it even being as simple as like, this is film's just going to show us Lex is trying to prove to the world that he's not this great person, and it's like he's just being a nuisance to Superman while Superman's actually saving the world and being a good guy. And it's like that balance of trying to be everywhere in the world, doing these like big saves, but then he comes back home and he's got fucking Lex Luthor taking a shit in his toilet because he's like, "You're just as evil as me," and he's like, "No, I'm not." But
the idea of Lex viewing the Fortress of Solitude as like this evil lair instead of a
like,
beacon of hope is what I want.
Yeah, him breaking into be like, I'm going to find something in here. Like,
yeah,
it's got to be hiding something, and it's just not.
Exactly.
It's like, evil robots, and they're like the most polite robots ever. And it's just like...
I think this film does hinge on how good the chemistry between Rachel Brosnan's Lois Lane and David Cornsweet's Superman / Clark is. Based on the trailers, the chemistry looks electric. If the chemistry is that good in the film, I am not concerned. I think it's going to be great.
Fair.
There is a real chance, and I'm going to say it now for when the review comes from us, there is a real chance, even if common knowledge says it's a 4 out of 5, that it is. I think this film is going to speak to me in a way where I view it higher than a lot of other people. And I'm aware of that going in because I think this film is going to do a lot of the things I specifically have been looking for. So if it nails them, I know I'm going to view it more favourably than a lot of people.
Yeah, I get you.
But so far out of our kind of like 6-week period that we looked at, I'm saying we're 3 for 3. Leo 28 years later and F1, all good films. Not maybe phenomenal. I'd say only 28 years later managed to get into that truly great category. But I've not been disappointed with any of them yet. I'm hoping Superman is more on that 28 years later level than the others. But cautiously optimistic is where I'm trying to keep. I'm trying to keep my feet on the ground, pardon the pun, because I don't want to overhype it so much that I don't give it a chance to actually be a film. But I really, really think that I'm going to be reinvigorated with what superhero films could be again.